Hey everyone, welcome to the Reddit branch. Today we have interesting stories from Reddit that I would love to hear your opinion about. So feel free to let me know what you think down in the comment section. If you enjoy the video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for content like this every day. First story. Am I the a-hole for not going to my boyfriend's family's special dinner? My 24 female, boyfriend's 23 male mom is making this special meal this weekend. It's food that takes a lot of prep and usually only eaten on special occasions. It's not a special occasion, she just wanted us to visit. We were both gonna go, but we decided it was better I stay home, about an hour and a half from his mom's, because we're worried about our rabbits fighting. Long story short, their bond was broken and they are not okay with each other right now. They're separated by barriers, but rabbits are pretty crafty and sometimes can move them out of the way. If one of them got out, it could be a deadly fight for them. I feel comfortable leaving them alone for a few hours but not a whole weekend, so I stayed here. And honestly, I was kinda happy about it, because this is the first completely free weekend I have had in over a month, and I will not have another one for probably another month because of school and work. I felt bad about not being able to be there, but his mom said it was totally fine. And the plan was that he would hang out with his mom yesterday and today, when she's making the food, and then come back tonight because we haven't really seen each other at all this week and we had plans for a date night. But he just called me and told me his mom got confused about when he was leaving and the food is still really frozen, so she wants to make it tomorrow instead. And they both want me to go tomorrow to eat with them and then leave. But I really don't want to go do something this weekend. I really am behind in homework and I planned to just chill here and work on it and not rush through it like I always have to do. And also it's a long way to drive, about 3 hours round the trip, just for a couple hours there, and I'm kinda irritated that they want me to just drop everything and go. I see them all the time because he always wants to go visit them, but I feel like now if I don't go, it's gonna hurt their feelings. Because in their minds, I don't have any prior commitments. Am I the a-hole? People replied in the comments with, "You're not the a-hole, but couldn't you compromise and do homework tonight and go down tomorrow just to appease everyone? Your boyfriend will owe you an even better date night then too. Plus, your rabbits wouldn't be alone for too long either. You're not the a-hole." I feel like his mom didn't get mixed up. She used the frozen food as an excuse to get her son to stay another night. I do think it would be a nice thing to do to go, and it's good to spend time with your significant other's family, and you get to have a night without doing anything last night and tonight if you go tomorrow. You don't need to go if you don't want to, especially because you frequently visit. You lead your lives the way you want to. Your boyfriend is wrong here, because you made an agreement between you two and he's trying to change it. You're going to need to talk about that one, as you're seen as the bad guy / difficult one now indeed. There is also a possibility that his mom had purposely changed her cooking plans just to get her way. Think about that one, because honestly it's her dish. She probably made it X amount of times, so she knows when to cook it, how long it takes, etc. It's super suspicious that just about now, things did not go to plan, maybe for the first time after having perfected that dish, and you just happened to come over on your last weekend day. Again, you're running behind on homework and school, you had an agreement. Skipping your in-law duties for once, that's not a big deal, and if they make it one, they're idiots. It would also show their manipulative behavior. You have valid reasons, just tell them you're not coming and stick to your guns. Get your boyfriend in a check as well. Now for my personal opinion, I don't think the poster is the a-hole. She has things to do, and she should be allowed to say no what's most convenient to her. If there is room for her to rearrange her tasks and still go out, that would be great, but she doesn't have to. Next story. Am I the a-hole for telling my sister-in-law not to play ICP around her baby? So, I am extremely close to my brother's wife and her sisters. My sister-in-law's family all live out of state, so it's rare to see them in person, but it's always great when we can. They visited just recently to see my nephew, brother, and sister-in-law's 2 months old son. My sister-in-law is a stay-at-home mom and plays music all the time around the house, like all the time she's awake. Nothing for babies, but also nothing objectionable. However, her older sister is a big fan of the Insane Clown Posse, and while she was visiting, they both posted videos on their respective social media profiles in which you could hear their music in the background with my nephew present. I sent her a text and told her that I didn't like the fact that my nephew was exposed to that stuff. It's super awful and not at all appropriate for a baby. She told me to calm down and said it wasn't a big deal. We haven't spoken in a few hours and I really feel bad now. Am I the a-hole? Does it really matter what babies listen to? People replied in the comments with, "You're the a-hole. I doubt hearing bad music as an infant will do anything. At worst, they might lean towards listening to bad music as an adult. Oh no. What is the world coming to? The baby would grow up to be like pretty much everyone else. If the kid was yours, maybe you would have a say, but you don't. You're the a-hole. Assuming the music doesn't seem to be too loud or harming the baby in any way. A baby cannot understand the lyrics, and also it's not your baby, so you don't really get a say, assuming it seems to be happy and healthy enough. You're the a-hole. It's not your kid. At 2 months old, I doubt the baby knows or cares about the deeper meanings or even surface meanings of lyrics like "Screw everyone who went down on the Titanic." Anyway, when the time comes and your nephew learns to mimic, your sister will figure things out. Now, for my personal opinion, someone who isn't the baby's parent and also doesn't spend much time with the baby shouldn't really have a big say. I don't think the baby's being hurt by the music, nor does he care. It might be a worthy note if the nephew's 3 years old, but he's not. Next story. Am I the a-hole for reporting my friends? The title is quite self-explanatory, to be honest. I had a big assignment and my teammates were unresponsive and irresponsible during the majority of the time working on the assignment. Including but not limited to not responding to my messages, being late for meetings, not doing their parts on time, and I always had to pinch in to add in/edit, otherwise the assignment would be trash. There were quite a lot of similar incidents, but I willingly let bygones be bygones every time they showed a bit of remorse, as tiny as saying I'm sorry. However, the last straw was that one of them straight up plagiarized her part and had the audacity to lie when I asked. Not until later, when I ran her part through a plagiarism checker and shoved the evidence into her face, did she apologize and agreed to rewrite this. I overlooked literally everything except plagiarism because unlike being late for a deadline, this will definitely result in failing the course. This almost plagiarism incident was the motivation for me to write the reflection, in which I called out all of their behaviors during the entire time, which I intended to hide so that they didn't get their marks deduced. Nonetheless, if I were to send this to my instructor, my teammates will highly likely fail the course, which is something I don't want to happen because they are still my friends and they still contributed to the assignment. And while a lot of disputes happened, all of which got resolved in private, and I do not particularly want to drag this out again. But if I were to let them get away with high marks and no consequences, they will repeat these kinds of misconducts, and it will be unfair to me that my contributions and sacrifices were taken for granted. People replied in the comments with, "You're not the a-hole, but this will cause a lot of drama with them if you do it, and you will most likely lose friends." At the end of the day, if they decide to plagiarize/not do work on time in the future, that's on them. Their grade will not be affecting you. Ultimately, it's your choice, but try to consider those things. You're not the a-hole, but if you do this, you will 100% lose their friendship and people will take sides and you might even lose more people you're friends with. So it's up to you if you want to report and lose some friends or ignore it and continue to be friends. You only got 2 options. You're not the a-hole. They weren't pulling their weight, lied, and plagiarized. Their decisions would pull down your grade, meaning what you had worked on would have been a waste of time. Don't sacrifice your work for someone else, especially in school. Now, for my personal opinion, from personal experience, it really sucks to do all the work and people get to have the grades as well. It's not being stingy about the grades. You don't want them to fail, but it doesn't feel that good. If the poster can make peace with the fact that they're probably not going to have the same relationship with these people again, then I think they should go for it. Next story. Am I the a-hole for not wanting to give money to my in-laws anymore? So, Back in the very beginning of December, my fiance and I got in a car wreck, and the car was totaled. We got a truck in January, but it cost me my entire savings. We used my future brother-in-law's beat-up truck for a little while before we got ours. My fiance did an oil change on it. The very next day, the oil was black. It's not a diesel, and reading very low. I was driving home, 30 minutes drive, but then the motor blew, and I was stuck on the side of the freeway for 4 hours. Also to add, this was not a primary vehicle. My future brother-in-law has his diesel and his wife has her van. Well, now my future brother-in-law is fixing the truck up and begging fiance to pay $75 for fuel gaskets because he lost his job and they are struggling. I get it's only $75, but we don't see it as a priority. Shortly after the motor, things with his mom went super sour, so we used the tiny amount I saved up again to put towards a deposit. We were living with future mother-in-law and got a second car cause I still work 30 minutes away. His mom and my future brother-in-law keep asking. She can see fiance's bank account / money and will message when he gets paid. My fiance is still being charged for the totaled car because his insurance is being a dead silent and will not give his bank the information for the gap coverage. We need a windshield for the truck, it's gonna be $300 at least. Basically being on 2 cars. And that $75 we can use up to fill 1 tank in our truck. My future brother and sister-in-law are living just fine on 1 income. They just got back from their second 3-day camping trip this month. Came back with a corgi puppy they bought. My future brother-in-law still hasn't started looking for a job either. Fiance's mom whole thing is he has kids, he needs help. Also on Easter, my future brother-in-law's friend was saying, "Oh, fiance can buy the truck but not send $75, what the hell?" I was livid. And because I bought the truck, I told my fiance if his brother ever asks for money again, he can basically go get lost. Am I the a-hole? I might be, because technically I was driving the truck when the motor blew. Although you warned my future brother-in-law about the oil, but he brushed it off, so he thought it was fine. Future brother-in-law is smart about vehicles, and if his mom asks again, I'm going to personally message her, I'm no contact with her, and tell her to stop, and that just because they have kids doesn't mean we're rolling in the dough, and they need to leave us alone about our money. I was fine sending money at first, but we told my future brother-in-law he was going to have to wait, but now I'm refusing. People replied in the comments with, "You're the a-hole. You drove the truck when it was low on oil. The motor blew because you drove the truck when it was low on oil. Your brother-in-law was kind enough to let you use his truck and you broke it. He isn't even asking for the full cost of the repairs." Now for my personal opinion, the poster is kind of the a-hole. I understand they're struggling, but the post is overflowing with entitlement. She/they broke the truck, they should pay for it. It doesn't matter how much the money the owner has or what they do with that money. This concludes all the stories we have for this video. Thank you so much for watching and I hope you enjoyed it. Please feel free to share your opinions in the comment section down below. Until next time.